WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Hi, Lieutenant. How are you doing? Aw, did you find your land nav point, Lieutenant? Good job, Lieutenant. You get a
Expert Action Badge.
put on your uniform right,
Expert Action Badge.
show up to work on time,
Expert Action Badge.
qualify on your weapon,
Expert Action Badge. Badge of Action.
find your guidon.
Expert Action Badge.
That's right, just doing your normal warrior task and drills, you get a
Expert Action Badge.
Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Shit in a bag, Pogue. Badge of Action. The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. Action Badge.
Freedom is the right of all sentient beings.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
Morning, Sergeant Major.
How do you know what kind of goddamn day it is?
Beautiful morning, Sergeant Major.
Are you a fucking weatherman now?
You're listening to Sergeant's Time on WTF Nation Radio.
Break them off some. Yeah. It's Sergeant's Time, baby. Whoop, whoop. Yeah. Broadcasting live from the Functional Veteran Center of Excellence. And I do mean functional. On this 11 May 2023, in the year of our dumpster fire, I'm hearing some rumors right now that I guess Ukraine has already started a counteroffensive or something like that. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Either we're broadcasting deep within the Rocky Mountains or the basement of the Pentagon or somewhere around the Alamo. I'm your host. I can't wait for Spanky to come back. She's coming back soon. Yeah. There we go, baby. There we go. So glad you guys and gals are tuning in. I am amped. I had some coffee. Whoop, whoop, man. I am like seeing sound, trying to knock out a lot of stuff, catch up with a lot of work that I did for my past trips and stuff. So all you guys that are listening to Sergeant's Time right now that I've answered to in emails, don't worry about it. I'll get to you. Hang on in there. I got my whiteboard written down and all this other stuff to get you guys and gals, especially Lance. The Facebook Ranger stuff. Hey, yeah, good idea. And the WTF Nation top fan tabs. Yeah, we got you, man. We got you. So yeah, appreciate it, Lance. No, man, we got you, man. It's been busy. Man, it's been real busy. So, elephants in the fucking room, baby. Tonight, Joshua Kelley, U.S. Navy sailor. But first off, I really want to thank first off the MCPON, the Master Chief Petty Officer of the U.S. Navy, and the CNO, the Chief of Naval Operations, for allowing Joshua Kelley to come and shoot the shit with us about everything and anything. And if you guys did not know, he's been in the media already, so we're gonna take some time to chat with him and discuss what's been going on and what's all the hoot. I've been talking to him already, and it's been great. It's been a great experience. Shout out. I know he's in the chats, just like looking around, and we have other Navy veterans. We have the U.S. Navy tagged as well, and the Navy is obviously listening. I just want to lay some ground rules, and I rarely have to do that with you guys, but if you start with your bullshit, I'm just going to fucking ban you from the stream. And that's it. There'll be no drama, no nothing. It'll be like, well, I don't think it. We got to be respectful, just like any other guest that we have on here. I'm going to tell you what, I admire the courage. So, there's literally nothing wrong with having Joshua come over here and tell his side of the story due to the fact that, He's still serving. Unlike all the trolls and motherfuckers that like to talk to shit, then they, the way I see it, they should shut up because he's serving. But I'm gonna wait for him to talk because we got notes to talk about, and he's got notes. I'm sure we're just gonna be talking, just shooting the breeze, drinking coffee, having our glam time, and then there you go. So hang on, let me pull this back up. Is this the dude that does drag? It is. So why? Sorry, I'm just messing around. Real quick, I just want to give a shout out to Fort Moore today. If you guys didn't see the ceremony of the renaming of Fort Benning to Fort Moore, I know me and Spanky had some we had some input to the base renaming commission, so you could blame us. Exactly that, cause. Shit posting here is authorized only at the ages of 21 and above. But please wait. Do we have the do we have that? Do you want me to go help pull up the cause thing right there?
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Yeah. You'll hear that later. Anyways, so yeah, there we go. Fort Benning is now Fort Moore. Fort Moore, named after Hal and Julia Moore, the one the movie where Mel Gibson's is in. Oh, We Were Soldiers, and then he has a book, We Were Soldiers Once and Young, and Hal Moore has been his book actually has been the subject of many of military reading lists, and also the work that his wife Julia Moore has conducted for notifications of casualties. If you watch the movie, man, that shit, that I'll admit it, I'm not a Cav guy, but that's a good freaking movie. They should have called it Fort Plumley. Well, me and Spanky, when we decided to do up the research and do up the work, me and Spanky and our graphics guy decided to work together to submit some of the information that we had for the renaming of all the installations. That, of course, that the Base Renaming Commission have asked or was commissioned to remove all the names of former Confederate generals like Bragg, Hood, Benning, A.P. Hill, Rucker, yada, yada, yada. So we felt that the only way for us to be involved in the process is be involved in the process. So we submitted our names. I know plenty of times you guys have seen us tweet or retweet or look at or shit posted on guys who are just complaining about, look, what was that? I don't want to quote Star Wars, but good soldiers follow orders or something like that. Did we heard that before? Did we heard that when it comes to some suck it up, drive on? I'm trying to think about what other things that the that people who got really, and I'll be honest with you, like I said, going back to the conversation we had on about the Civil War already, me being from the West, to me it's like whatever. I would like to have seen that money spent. I mean, I think we could have changed it. Like, I tell you what should have happened, and this is just me. Again, what should have happened was that we should have had a this is the installation that is being renamed. Also involved with that money for the base rename should be like rebuilt barracks. Like, should be done by installation. And I don't know what, exactly how that worked out or how the money or why it would have cost that. But I will say, me and Spanky were going to lead a rogue mission to go and put a cover over Fort Moore when it was Fort Benning and put Fort Alwyn Cache. We were going to go to Bragg. I tell you what, doing those vinyl signs are pretty freaking expensive. So, me and Spanky being two retired senior NCOs, we just couldn't fucking afford that. So I'm like, it would have been a good gag to put, over the thing. That's right, General Moore. Hey, I got no qualms about General Moore either. It didn't matter. Some people joked around and said that's like a joint Facebook account. How you have a joint base name, like Hal and Julia Moore. I thought it was funny. Again, no, nothing against General Moore or his spouse. If you watch the movie or you read the book as well, what she did for casualty notification and all that was just incredible. It set the foundation to how we do our casualty assistance and casualty notification. So it's not that, am I disappointed that Fort Alwyn Cache wasn't picked? Sure, I'm disappointed, but I'm glad that Spanky and I need I need a joint Facebook account. Is that what it is? Are we at that stage already, Spanky? Ooh, there we go. Yeah, dude, the book had me too. I had to put the book down. I'm reading the book and I'm like, God, this freaking sucks. And mind you now, Julia Moore, man. I mean, General Moore was out deployed doing stuff in Vietnam. And she had to do all this shit on her own. So, yeah, it was, that get you in the feels. So that happened today. And I currently right now, what was the joke that we were going to put on there and that really got people upset was when me and Spanky decided to say, hey, look, if it's not going to be named, Fort Alwyn Cache, we at least wanted it to be called the Alwyn Cache Maneuver Center of Excellence. But, hey, we can't get what we want. We were going to call it General Sherman when we were naming it Fort Alwyn Cache, the General Sherman Maneuver Center of Excellence, which, hey, there you go. I have no problem. I suggested in the forum somewhere to rename Benning to Fort Sherman and rename Gordon to Fort Sheridan. And you should have seen the hatred that I got from some of those Georgians. Man, you ain't lying. Some of my friends that are in Georgia said, how could you? They were almost like Greta Thunberg. How dare you? How dare you name it Fort Sherman? Do you know what he did? Yeah, I know what he did. All the way to fucking to the ocean, as a matter of fact. So yeah, all the drama that happened from that. Hey, get over it. There's just some things you can't fucking change, and it's been done. The decision's been made. Let's rock on. I know I saw on Twitter somebody posted that people are going to be saying like, 80 years from now, there's going to be some veteran who was the last one, like the last couple of days of Fort Benning that graduated basic training and was like, you don't know what it's like, how tough it was when it was Benning, not when it was Fort Moore. I'll tell you what, I don't think Ben even make fucking general at all. Did he ever make 3-star general? Did he ever lead anybody in combat for like a sustained period of time? How many wars was he in? So anyways, so that's the thing. And at Fort Liberty, the official rename is coming up as well. I've been seeing social media accounts post about it being renamed to Fort Liberty. And yeah, it was called Fort Bragg. And so, hey, like I said, just change is coming. The change is coming. I don't mind. I don't mind change. It's the ones that, and I'll be honest with you, I don't want to say that I like to watch a good dumpster fire, but, watching the ones that are getting all irritated about it, usually it's kind of like watching, when somebody, this, come on, you've been rucking and you have somebody that's always complaining, but you turn back and the person that is always whining and stuff is sucking in the wind and is like freaking really can't ruck. And they're like, oh, this fucking sucks. And you see the pain in their face. That's kind of like how I feel about it. The 30th AG of excellence. Yeah. Anyways, so that was the interesting. Another real quick topic about the renaming stuff is that they're not just doing army bases as well. They're also doing ships. They're also using buildings, and it was just not just to the army. It was also across the DoD, which of course across the DoD topic is going to be covered when Joshua joins up, and we're talking about, because I'm going to reveal something too as well, and it's going to be pretty cool. That everyone's gonna be like, what? Wait a minute. So, Fort Polk will be named Fort PewDiePie. What is Fort Polk gonna be renamed? I forgot what it was gonna be called. I'm like thrown off about this stuff. So, anyways, okay, real fast. The ink argument that I'm okay with is renaming the money. We don't have renaming money. We are in debt. Okay, good point. Good point. That was from Spanky. Good point. Do we have enough money to do that? I'll be honest with you, man. If we had the wherewithal to send the money, to spend the money. Hey, here's another thing too. People seem to forget that the military often can multitask. If you've not seen how the military actually goes to war, starting from the original planning process and colon analysis and MDMP, you're like, oh yeah, the Army can definitely freaking multitask. So let's get on to some other Army news. Let's see what were the big ones that we got here, and this is something that I asked Recruiter Times, and this new breaking thing is the Army is starting a or no penalty surge of ineffective, or purge, I should say, of ineffective recruiters. Do you remember back in the day when someone didn't do good on recruiting duty, they just like left, or they'd like try to boot them out or something like that? So the military struggles, and this is from the Army Times, from our friend Davis Winky. We've had if we had invested in Wu-Tang Investments, you could pay the debt, especially if you know how to diversify your bonds. As the military struggles to meet the recruiting goals, which the Army will miss again this year, the service recruiting chief issued a directive on Friday, which you probably have seen posted on social media already, standardizing recent change on how it removes underperformers. Now, I'm kind of on the fence on what you consider an underperformer. Is it the recruiter's fault that if the economy's doing good? Is it the recruiter's fault or the recruiting station commander's fault that soldiers or recruits or people putting them in boots? You just can't put them in boots if they have a good, if they're in an area that's economy is boosting. Should they be considered ineffective? I mean, I get it. You didn't make the cut. All right, I understand that. And the recent changes of our regulation is governing how recruiters are assigned to, if necessary, removed from recruiting duty. The command officials did not immediately respond to the email questions from the Army Times about the memo, which has obviously been circulated. I think Recruiter Times posted it up already. Hey, recruiters, try going after disgruntled Marines. You'll meet your mission. One of the big changes will be remove the ineffective recruiters without giving them a negative evaluation. Now, that was what the big, how do I say this? The big, somebody get put on assignment to pull recruiting duty. That's what people said. Oh, hell no. That was like the horror story. That was the nightmare scenario that, what if I can't do recruiting duty? Under the previous regulation, recruiting commanders had the discretion to slap a failed Army select recruiters for relief for cause that could torpedo the career. That's right. I'll be honest with you. This is where I think, how do I say this? Just like some communications or some influence career fields, I think there should be like an assessment and selection. There should be a selection. There should be somebody who, like the guy that you hear in the background going, what would be a good idea if we recruited like this? Oh, you got that? Hang on, you got that? Let me write you down here. What did you say? I think we need to recruit like that. And then there you go. Have that individual come up, have the ideas come from the bottom up, which I'm sure if that discussion's already happened with the new regulation, then I don't see an issue with that. The memo defined ineffective recruiters as those who've been assigned to the command at least a year, but have had 2 or fewer recruits since October. Okay. So that means that, the assigned to a production role, which comes with extra pay, is responsible for at least 1 contract per month. Is it easy to get 1 contract a month? Can you get 1 contract, especially with this economy, or in areas that that don't have a good economy, high unemployment or something like that? The recruiting leaders must counsel and offer remedial substandard recruiters before tagging them as ineffective. I don't know. Is that a gut check? I mean, do you think that's a gut check? If somebody would say, "Hey, you're an ineffective recruiter," would you be like, "Yeah, thank you, see ya"? Are you happy about that? Is that a good thing to say? Over the next 90 days, the command did say that they will immediately reassign ineffective recruiters who have required counseling and training but haven't improved. So under the Army selected recruiters who haven't received the paperwork necessary to justify the ineffective designation will be offered a voluntary reassignment outside of the recruiting command without negative evaluation. It's way better than what it used to be. It's way better than what it used to be. Back in the, I've had friends and I've had subordinates that were assigned to recruiting duty, and that was the biggest thing. Like, they just couldn't get it. They just couldn't do it. And also, there's some personal issues and stuff like that involved, and then it compounded a lot of the issues. So, and everyone says, what's the no fault of your own? Well, the article does cover that. Recruiters who have produced contract through no fault of their own won't face reassignment, the memo did say, and such reasons include as non-recruiting temporary duty assignments, medical leave, parental leave, or holding a role that requires a voluminous administrative work and commanding a large recruiting station. And there you go. So in a way, if you could do that, and I would say honest with you, if you think you can help the recruiting crisis or give USAREC some of the ideas, send it. It's not exactly a positive eval either. I was going to ask you, Recruiter Times, is that mean that is it going to be like it's a general NCOER? Like, do you get unrated time? What kind of eval would you get with that thing? I didn't really dig too far in the memo because it was recruiter ease. You know, it was in the language of the recruiters. So who do we got here in this chat here? I see someone here. On the, what's that? Question on the AGSUs, is the reg stay bright computer look? I can't find it anywhere. I don't know. I don't wear AGSUs, nor will I ever wear them. So when someone says, hey, you want to get something, an award, and you got to, because I'm retired, would you wear a, no. I'll wear the last uniform that I retired in. There you go. I should just get like some class A's, like the old green setup or something like that, and see what happens. I think people were like, what are you doing, dude? And have like really big sideburns and a bushy mustache. Yeah. Exactly that, Mike. Hey, Mike, how you doing? See you in the chats. All right, so that's who do we have here? Who's this? I see somebody here with some Arabic writing on there. Hey, how you doing? Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for the peace be on peace and mercy be and God be upon you, and welcome everyone. Well, thank you. Shokran. But yeah, so I think honestly, would this stop you? How would I say this? Would this give you a good feeling that, okay, I'm going to get recruited, and if I can't make the cut, then I guess I'm good. Then I guess I'm good, right? I think we'd be cool with that, and I think that how do I say this? I think the NCOs that are going to go on recruiting duty, and then you go through that and you're successful and all that stuff, and if you just don't cut it, I don't know, it just seems like ineffective recruiters makes it sound like you're not good. But then again, I got my bud Mike Levine in the chats, and he would say too, there's some individuals that just can't communicate good, that aren't good comms people or good influence people, and they don't have the gift of gab, or they don't have that knack. Just some of them just don't need to be in the job. Hey, sorry, man. What was your MOS before you came over here? Oh, yeah, okay, so you're going to go back to wherever. Is Radar okay? He didn't air last night. Yes, Radar, yeah, real quick, apologize for that. Last night, Radar, well, first off, TZ, and I'll let her tell you, so she had a medical thing going on, and I'll let her explain that. And then Radar was enamored. It has not enamored. It was just freaking swamped with meetings, and he couldn't make it. He just couldn't do it, because I was gonna like surprise him and say, hey, look, dude, if you can't make it and stuff like that, then I'll be your co-host, since TZ was gonna be there. But he already said it canceled out, so I'm like, okay, cool. Surprise, Radar. I guess you didn't have to worry about that. But anyhow, on the next topic. So, hey, TZ, I see ya. All right, here we go. This is from again, Military Times. I've been scraping some of the stories from here and checking them out from Karen Jowers. Could troops get 100% housing allowance on January 1st? Is that possible? What would it mean? Because I know right now, currently with inflation, there's individuals that live in some areas that their BAH would not cover it. Even the officers, too. I'm waving for my bed rest. You get the rest, man. Don't get stressed out. So troops with families could get $100 to $184 each month on average if the DoD were to boost the BAH from levels from 95% to a full 100% of the costs, eliminating the costs that troops now shoulder. As a matter of fact, drop in the comments how much BAH is in your area. I know for like a buck sergeant or even a lieutenant, like if they usually get assigned to like a high, like DC or something like that, I do know the fact that their BAH won't cut that unless they have it specific to that area. Should there be a flat BAH? Somebody said there should be a flat BAH, or instead of worrying about the flat BAH or any BAH, that BAH should be supplemental and we get a bigger paycheck. soldiers should get more money. And there's always that old soldier. There's always that old soldier that says Beckett Bidding or Beckett Bragg, that's no longer there, will say, well, we can't give the soldiers too much money because then they'll go spend it on chargers at 43% interest. E7 is like $1,900 on a Bragg, but I have to go grab my government phone to check. Well, there you go. You don't have to. I'm just out of curious what the... So BAH goes up and so will the rent. And that's another thing too. There has to be some law or some sort of legislation that has, I don't know, that tells anybody, if you're in an area that and you're taking advantage of a soldier, there should be some sort of legislation where you don't fucking you don't scam the troops. The military should just foot the mortgage flat out. I would say, well, that's another thing too, mortgage or rent. Because if you're doing it at rent, that's a good idea, Pip. Come to think of it, if you show up to the lease, drop it off at finance and said, here's my BAH, then that's the BAH that goes, and that's where the BAH should go to, right? That's a good idea. But I don't think a mortgage, because then then you don't want the government or the military to get involved in what house you should get. Because then at that point, then they'll go, okay, well then they'll lay the housing thing. Well, because you're a sergeant, you should only have this many rooms, and you shouldn't have that much pounds of household goods. You can only have one car. That's why I'm kind of like, I'm kind of off and on when it comes to having the government tell you how to have their. I just don't. Not for a mortgage. But if you're stationed long term, okay, I see that. I can see that as a mortgage, but not, because what will end up happening is that you got to remember. Currently, right now, IPS-A is having some is on the struggle bus right now. So if you brought your lease to finance, they would find a way to screw that. Exactly that. It'd be like IPS-A. The S1 would be like losing your paperwork. The S1, you're like, here you go, here's my lease. Okay, cool. Private Snuffy, yeah, you shouldn't get this. You should go get a different house. That's what I'm afraid. You'll have individuals that think that their lifestyle or their way of living should be everybody's lifestyle. Or everybody's. I'm not saying that a PFC rocking a freaking, 3,100 square foot house with freaking all these bedrooms and bathrooms and all that, and 15-car garage, and trying to roll baller like that. I could see that, but I think some of the programs that would be there would have been, at least if you're off post and you're renting, then yeah, and then use the BAH for the mortgage, if that makes any sense. So in other words, for rent, let the government provide it. For a home, then there should be a flat BAH. So, or like I said, pay more money. Pay the troops more money. Because everyone goes back and forth. Everyone goes back and forth with the how do I say this? I don't want to make this partisan, because Sergeant's Time is not supposed to be that, or bipartisan or nonpartisan or whatever. It should not be both the Democrats and the Republicans going back and forth on how we should have our money spent. There's already currently a member of Congress that's holding up promotions. And I think if you want to support the troops, then lay off of your fucking way how you want to discuss how we govern ourselves in the military. Because again, we have policies in place for a reason. I keep going back to this again. Woke didn't happen like when I got out of the Army in 2018. I was talking to Mike about this, and I said, hey, I didn't realize that I never knew the Army was woke until I got a Twitter account, and then I retired. I was kind of like, where did this woke bullshit come from? What this whole fucking thing about? And that's what it is. You have politics being played on some of our benefits. Like right now, currently, the appointment of some promotions are being held back right now, and that's what happens too. Is that the military will say, because we have members of Congress holding up a promotion, then all of a sudden everybody say, well, the military's not supposed to be involved, and blah blah blah. You understand about civilian control? Well, shit, motherfucker. Oh, I shouldn't say motherfucker to a congressman, but since they're holding the fucking keys to that, but damn, dude, what's it got to take? Just like housing. You have some congressional members of Congress that are sitting there going back and forth fighting about, well, the money for the barracks is this, and the money for that, and money for that, because I don't like it, because I think the Army, the military is woke, blah, blah, blah. Man, whatever. Miss me with that bullshit. Yeah. So, what condoms for what? What are you talking about? What's that? What if they have a big family? You have to ETS, and they should have to tie it to the home loan for transfer over. What was it? Condoms. Here's the thing, though. Is the VA loan and the EAS and ETS and all that. I think sometimes leaders need to let go of their soldiers, understanding when they're at least a year out, to not contribute to the homeless veteran situation by let them do those programs so that way they can get set up for success. With wokeness, you should have seen the slide deck from extremist training. See, that's the thing. That's what I think. I think that's what it is. I think he doesn't like, who is it? Tuberville? I'm messing up his name. On purpose too, also with some hyperbole and sarcasm. That you're holding up a promotion just because you don't like what the military says. That for the last, over 200 years, with its evolution of standards and evolution of inclusivity, equity, diversity. Did you know that some of the guys that are shooting this shit are saying it's woke, it's happening now? It happened like in the 80s. It happened in the 90s. That all that stuff is like there. You guys were part of it. You just didn't realize it. You were probably a fucking Joe anyways and got out before you understood what it meant. Program should be mandatory the last year out. That's right. It is. Well, it's supposed to be mandatory, but you're supposed to have soldiers going on to those programs of like ACAB or SFL TAP and all that. I don't know what the Navy has. I don't know if the Navy, the Air Force, whatever. But I'm speaking that on that aspect. But anyways, yeah, go back to what I was saying. You get some dude, some chucklehead, and so then when the member of the military says, "Hey, look, promotions are being held because of this guy," then the media goes after the fucking person who says it and says, see, you have general or colonel or sergeant major so-and-so saying this. They should not be involved. They should understand. I'm like, dude, tell that individual who is holding up promotions. Then that's easy. The Ghost Battalion at Fort Lewis. Fort Lewis. What are you, freeze-dried or doing hard time? It's not called JBN. Isn't it called JBLM now? Joint Base Lewis McChord is what it's called. I haven't heard that called Fort Lewis in a long time. Rep X hates the military. Everybody hates the military. Well, until it's time for until it's trophy time. That's what I'm doing for the military. Look what I'm doing. Let's shake hands and there you go. Look at that. I'm gonna pat this soldier on the back, give him a coin, and then shit talk that same soldier on fucking social media. We're gonna talk about that too. Joshua, shooting shits with it. Can't wait. Wait a minute, let me see something real quick. Okay. There we go. All right. What was the next story I was going to talk about? What was his name? I think it was Tuberville. But anyways, we'll check in. What do you hear? What do you say? What's up, coach at the sports bar? So as a result, lawmakers have been urging defense officials again to have a BAH cover 100% of the housing costs, but DoD cannot do without legislation. And so now that's the thing. The legislatures and the legislated individuals, dude, politics is so, the Congress working is so bad. I mean, when we had our guest on before, Amy Sanchez, when she talked about all the stuff and discussed it about how these bills work and how writers are and staffers and getting involved, and you have two individual politicians, everybody's like, oh my, holy crap, man. Funny how representatives treat service members when you get then you get a guy like Trump, private citizen who's sent his own aircraft in a foreign country to rescue stranded service members when the flight leaves without them. Huh? What about treat service members? Did he do that? Did Trump go rescue somebody? Did he do that? Not much of a Trump follower, but okay. I kind of shitpost on everybody, so let's just see. I don't see. I'm trying to find the name of the rep. I'm gonna call him out on social media to see what he said about this. So that way I can. Oh, Marines left in Kuwait, Kuwait Gulf War I in case you. Did he do that? Is that true? It's Tom. It was his name, Tommy Tuberville. That's his name. I guess he's he's I guess he's involved because the Tuberville keeps pressure on the Pentagon to rescind illegal and immoral. Illegal, immoral. What was that? I'm written on mine. I'm quoting him. This is what he says. Like policies immoral. He's talking about some sort of the latest stand-up took place, and I'm reading this from another social media source, another news media source. Yeah, exactly. Tuberville. Okay. The latest stand-up took place Wednesday when Senator Michael Bennet, Democrat out of Colorado, asked for unanimous consent to move forward with nominations, and it's been done repeatedly. And Tuberville rejected it. So how come you holding the promotions, right? Support the troops, right? Policies immoral, taking Department of Defense abortions from less than 20 a year to 4,000 abortions annually. I guess he's got some sort of fucking issue with maybe I should have read up on this shit, but Tuberville was the one that was holding up some of these nominations for promotion, and says that he's holding on nominations of senior military leaders. And risks damaging. Yeah, exactly that. What kind of name is Tuberville? All right, let me just post the fucking. I don't know. I can window cap this shit. We're gonna be window capping a lot of stuff in a minute. So, yeah. So here's a letter. I'm speaking as a retired senior non-commissioned officer. So I want everybody to know that I'm retired. I'm not currently on active duty as well. So people freaking out saying, because I know how the narrative goes. Is this person working for the DOD? No. Is this person speaking? No, I'm not speaking for the DOD. So basically what it is that reproductive rights for the women in the VA are what's being held back. And what really makes me mad is that the woke generals thing is what pisses me off. That's what pisses me off. The over-the-counter birth control stuff. Oh, hey, what's up, Janae? We can't get birth control, but male veterans can get Viagra. So this was a multi former Secretary of Defense letter here. Hey, I met some of these guys. Senators should leverage numerous amounts available to challenge and change DoD policies, such as introducing legislation, oversight hearings, demanding blah blah blah. NDA, therefore, we strongly urge the Senate to ensure continued readiness of the U.S. Armed Forces by lifting the blanket hold and promptly voting these uniform nominees. So basically, because of politics, you're going to be freaking shafting a general or colonel for something they had nothing to do with. That's like, I don't know, it sounds like almost like how, man, I didn't want this to be a freaking attacking Congress thing. This is supposed to be Sarge time. But it's almost how you see some Congress individuals when a service member posts something, they attack that individual. Looking at you, Marco Rubio. I just don't get it. To me, I just don't think, hey, if you're supposed to be propping these troops up and saying, support the troops, yada yada, then it's just incredible. It's just incredible. We're supposed to be apolitical. We're not supposed to be in this in politics, and we're supposed to be blah 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 blah. Well then shit. So then let they. Sorry, the military is a cross. You're going to see the military is a cross section of America and society. You may not like it, but they're there. I'm just seeing all the stuff here. That's like, oh wow, 650 officers. 650 officers. You remember how we said that it's not the recruiting and it's not the recruiting portion that's it's the retention stuff. When guys and gals get out, they go back and tell their families how they were treated in the military. Well, you're kind of like driving the wedge between the military and members of Congress when you hold these promotions up. Yeah, have some poor fucking captain or major. I don't care about majors. No, I'm just kidding. I'm it's a love-hate between majors. But you're holding some promotions right there. And you honestly freaking think I'm losing viewers? What happened? Are you cracking on my viewers again? That's because my guest isn't up on there. Yeah, just have civilian close day and you'll see this cross section of society. Yeah, you ain't lying, dude. You ain't lying. There's a meme about that too, about different individuals that are. So I didn't want to get off on a bashing Congress tangent. But no, I don't buy it. I really don't buy it. I think that if you're going to use we support the troops and we love the troops and all this other shit, then don't punish the others. Don't punish the troops that are waiting to get promoted that you're holding up. Because then they're going to be like, I'm not going to fucking vote for you. The only person I saw vocal speaking about it was U.S. Army WTF 7050 Radio. I'm just kidding. Are other individuals that spoke for me. You know, I don't know, your fucking job to represent the people? It's frustrating. I know I shouldn't have gotten on a Monday edition tangent, but it's frustrating. I hate seeing this stuff. Show me in the doll whether Major hurt you. I've had some, I don't want to say I've had some tragic scar tissue over a Major, but oof, if you guys remember my time as dealing with Majors, oh man, especially one other one, you lordy, have mercy. But what's up back here is Rumble? Hi, see ya. What's up? Is that you, Carl? Hey, Carl, is that you? But yeah, it's the reason why I'm losing my viewers. I think if people are getting upset is because they're not going to be liking what the topic's going to be, because I think we're going to drop some dimes and bust some receipts and shoot the shit. I can't wait. Like I said, man, I love a good drum. I love a good dumpster fire. I love to yeah. Okay, cool. Well, good to have you in the chat, sir, Carl. Good to see you in there. Yeah, it's not like, you know, our guest, and then when I say dumpster fire, our guest is not a dumpster fire, by the way. Let me just preface that. Our guest is not a dumpster fire. What's happening to him is fucking bullshit, and that's the dumpster fire that I'm talking about. Majors hurt people by existing. Yeah. Depends on what they are. If they're S3s and they're good S3s, then there's nothing wrong with majors. But if they're XOs, man, forget it. Forget it. I don't want to hear it. Forget it. Let me see. Let me check someone. I think there's that one story I got left. And I think we can go on break. Oh, I see him in the chats. Hang on. Let me see. I see him in there. What's up, Joshua? How you doing? Hey, can you turn your video? Your video here. As a matter of fact, let me show you real quick. What's worse? Ew, why would you even say that, dude? Yeah, everyone else is here for the guest. So let's see. No, you're not interrupting. You're not interrupting at all. Well, hang on. I can. Nobody can hear you. I can hear you. But you want people to hear you? What? Me and Josh are having our own thing, guys. Back off. Anyways, let me. So we're gonna take a break right quick. So that way we can get set up, and that way we can, have them. Have our guests joining in, and we'll get squared away doing some media stuff, and Joshua's ready. I can't wait, cannot wait. So we'll be right back. So if you guys want to take a break, like I said, it's going to be a minute to set up the tech, and we'll be rocking and rolling. So y'all, shoot the shit, hit the head or the latrine, and we'll see what we got in store. So y'all have a good break. We'll see you in a sec. Shouts.
What is this Facebook Live? I've never heard of this shit.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
If that's really a thing, and I get authorized to do it once, it's pretty much gonna be me sitting there talking shit, like, constantly.
Is it so bad? Is this where you draw the line? 'Cause it's so sad. Tell me where you lost your faith. Is it so bad? Couldn't see it in your face. And it's so sad. I'll wait until you come back. Come back down to me. I'll wait until you come down. Come back down. Why you keep it in your head? Is it so bad? Never heard a word you say it, and it's so sad. Tell me when you lost your way, 'cause it's so bad. Wanna see you when I pray, and it's so sad. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down. Is it what you want? Is it what you needed now? Is it what you breathe? Is it what you're feeling now? Is it what you feel? Is it what you're feeling now? Is it what you wanted? I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down. Hello, you. Will you come back?
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back. Man, I can't wait for you guys and gals to well, let me just introduce my guest. His name is Joshua Kelley, and I'm not gonna beat around the bush. Let's just bring him on. What's going on, Josh? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing really well. A little late for me. I'm actually about to head to bed soon, but I had to, jump on before I did anything else. So.
Well, awesome. No, I'm glad to have you on. We were sorting out. I'm just letting the audience know that we were sorting out some technical stuff, and I just we were just trying to figure it out. That's why you'll notice that Josh is inside a little bit different little cube there than how we normally have it. But once Josh gets to talking, he's gonna get the full screen effect. And so you're gonna be seeing his shirts and his swag in the back and all this other stuff. So at any rate, welcome to SGT'S Time, shipmate. I mean, I've been excited for you to come on.
My mouth's already dry and I haven't even started talking yet. Thank you. I've seen you. I actually only recently seen the last podcast you did because, well, it was moi, so I had to check it out. It happened to be the hottest topic lately this past week. So I like the things that you said so far about me. And I just want to say your support means a lot. You and so many others. So thank you for bringing logical, factual information and sticking up for me with that. And that's just being a service member across the board. You just brought literally service member facts, like what we do. Like I think you were the first person I watched who said they don't do drag 24/7. I don't. If I did, I wouldn't be in the Navy. So I just want to say, like, that minor detail honestly goes a long way for those who don't know the service. So I just want to say thank you for that.
Well, first off, I was kind of impassioned. I had some passion behind me for that last comment because, I mean, we just get to the meat and potatoes about it. Well, real quick, just tell us a little bit about yourself personally, and then if you can or if you'd like to, give us a little sneak peek about what you do in the Navy, or what you are, or what are you in the Navy.
Yes, of course. So my name's Joshua Kelley. I am a white Japanese or white Asian American. I'm from a small borough of Pennsylvania, a small town called Berwick. Grew up like very small town vibes. Definitely not a city or country person. Definitely enough like redneck backwoods individuals. I can say that because all my family comes from a very loving place, but my first female I ever seen chew tobacco was my cousin. Love her so much too. But I come from a small town. I come from a military family. My dad served 24 years. His grandfather served in the Army. And then on my mom's side, my uncle has also served for the Marines. And then on my mom's side, her father served as a Marine, and I believe her uncle served in the Air Force, and then the list can go on and on and on. So right. I do come from like that very vet, like small town area, and which is why I take great pride in serving too, because I know where it really comes from and where it's rooted in. As for me, I'm 29. I didn't join the Navy. I've been in the Navy for 7 years. I didn't join until I was 22. I worked for health insurance and a data analyst before the service, and I liked doing the administrative field. I was just good at it. I was good at customer service. I was good at support. I really do find joy seeing ask any service member. The admin department really makes or breaks somebody in the military. I think I get the biggest compliment is when people say is like, I never get a yeoman like this ever before. And because I had PERS on speed dial, and I was like, oh, you need help? All right, bet. So I take great pride in what I do in the service. I help out all sailors, doesn't matter rank, range. My job is to help everybody within the service too. So I take great pride in that. And since we already know I'm a drag queen, I'll bring that up too for sure. I actually have done drag for 10 years. So I've only been in the Navy for 7. So 3 years I did drag before I joined as well. And as you can tell, I've been very blessed to be able to still enjoy that part of my life, because drag does bring me great joy. It's my escape. We all have a form of escape, and that's something that I've done. I actually was a pageant queen. I had a title of Miss Gay Harrisburg of 2015, gave up the title to serve my country. And then since then, media, the public, named me the Navy drag queen, but I'm not the Navy's drag queen. I am a drag queen who simply serves in the Navy. So that's a quick snapshot, I guess, of who I am and what I do.
No, that makes total sense, because what's funny is, and again, I'm just going to get to the meat and potatoes of all this. What's funny is that there was an initiative between the Department of Defense to have influencers across the spectrum, and part of that, and I'm going to reveal this right now that not too many people know, is that the Army had asked myself and other influencers around the same campaign that you were running it, which was like wasn't it like last year or something like that, or the year before last?
It started November to March. So yeah. that was the pilot.
Correct.
That was the
correct. So what individuals don't realize is that the Army, in conjunction with the Navy, had like a great, hey, let's get out there and let's see who's doing it. I was part of that, and of course COVID or scheduling or whatever. It was just so much drama with that. And then the Navy, I mean, we didn't hear about it until the media started attacking you. I'm like, what the fuck? Why are they going after this dude? And like I said in my podcast last Thursday, if you guys want to catch the May the 4th episode, it's not like, and I said this specifically, which probably made you spit your drink out when I said, it's not like you're walking up on an aircraft carrier, loading up a missile going, hey, it's time to glam. You're not fucking doing that. And that's what pisses me off, is like these guys, and Janae Sergio was featured too. It's just like, these guys think that that's it. That everyone's walking around with stripper glitter ready to be fucking tossed at everybody and we're good to go. And that's not the fucking case. Some of these individuals that have been shit talking you have run, and because I know we don't want to reveal too much, but have crossed paths with you in a professional matter that would never have fucking known that you were drag. And
it still happens. You're absolutely right. Not to cut you off, sorry.
Go for it.
Just to plug in, I remember. So, a quick note, because there's a lot of mixed stories that's going on, and I hope to just lay it all flat out perfectly in a nice diagram.
Yeah, send it.
So, 2018 was an article published about me. That's the video that a lot of individuals shared that may have had different thoughts than I did. About the military and queer people and drag queens, and they shared a video from 2018 when I performed on the USS Ronald Reagan in full drag for a sanctioned MWR, which is anyone who's not in the Navy. MWR is simply like our USO. It is DoD governed, who puts on morale, welfare, or recreation events for us. And we do talent. They've done talent shows, lip syncing competitions, which is the one that I did, bingos, and the list can go on. Movie nights. I mean, we're on deployment. We need something to get away on our downtime. We work 24/7, but we have to sleep. We have to reconnect with ourselves and really build ourselves back up. I mean, anybody who's been on deployment anywhere, anybody in the service knows morale can die really fast. So we did a lip sync competition. And this was 2016 and 2017. It didn't get published till 2018 because 2018 for Pride, one of the MCs, media specialists, one of my good friends, Tyler John, created an article for me as the 76er. And it just I don't know how it got leaked, but it got leaked to the press. And after that, this whole thing went viral. This sailors doing drag on a ship and all these things came out, and it's crazy and went on. And basically what's happening now, everything happened then too. And But there was way more like then for I won't lie, the queer community is now like, yeah, we know her, but everyone else is now catching up. But back then, I mean, RuPaul tweeted me. I was on NBC, New York Post, everything you're seeing now, same thing then as it is now, except the difference was it was about me and my life and how that impacted. And so I bring that up because after that, I felt so confident to finally be like, wow, I can do what I enjoy too. And that moment in time, though, when I performed on the ship, I've had people come out to me. I've had people reach out for advice on how just discovering themselves. I had sailors who told me that they weren't going to no longer commit suicide. I mean, we talk about mental health so much as service members. And I can tell you right now, I'm probably one of the most strongest mental persons after the week I've gone through to come out with full grades. So all of that I carried into and made it kind of my life. And the Navy saw that, and I beautifully done it. And that's why they allowed me to do the Navy Digital Ambassador programs. I was somebody that of the queer community who held voice, who held composure, but also was still authentically themselves.
Well, if you guys dig up Harpy Daniels on Google, on drag. If you, I mean, I don't want to use to go to a platform of some of the shit talkers, but they posted the video of your performance, and your performance, everyone loved it. That's what trips me out. It's like, I can understand if somebody was booing you, or I can understand if someone like, ew, what are you doing? But the whole fucking ship was like, hell yeah, rockets. I mean, I even heard guys, Slay Queen, and I'm like, fuck, dude. Well, I don't fucking understand what the fucking issue is, and it's not a, how do I say this? It's not like it's thrown in your face, because it was an MWR event. It was offered for you to do a talent show, and you said, I'm coming out in drag and I'm going to do this shit. And the video shows, because I watched the video, I wanted to make sure I got all the information I needed. Everybody was fucking clapping. I mean, I think I saw somebody give you like a coin or some shit. I don't remember what it was. Yeah. I was like, what the hell? What's if everyone's loving it? Because there's some guys in the chats right now saying we had a drag. One of the best shows I ever saw was a drag show in Missoula back in 2005. Missoula. And the barber stylist on the FOB did an act and won the talent competition.
How it works.
I'm about to say, is it because the haters don't like have fucking talent? Is that what it is?
I think it's because they know if I served before 2011 and we had to do any crossing the line ceremonies, they know I would have won the beauty pageant during that time, during my walk. I think that's really what it is, and they're bitter because they're like, she looked better than I did in those fishing.
And that's what I brought up last week. I brought up last week the showback ceremonies. And everybody gets involved. Everybody's dressed in drag. Everyone's performing in suggestive activities that are for adults only. And I'm like, what the fuck? What? I don't understand. The same hardcore Navy guys that are sitting there beating their chest going, fuck this, and blah, blah. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to put you guys on notice, by the way. I'm going to find you in a showback ceremony, and I'm going to fucking post it. And I'm going to send it to Joshua, so that way you fucking haters can stop being jealous bitches and maybe get some tips. You know what I mean? So that was my biggest thing. That's why I highlighted that World War II show in drag, that complete show in drag that was emceed by the conservative, Republican God King himself, Ronald Reagan. And
for clarification, everything was approved under the fund boss, who's directed under the CO for that event too. I came to the fund boss at the time. I said, is this outfit okay? Is this wig okay? Is this music okay? And she said, you're probably one of the only sailors I trust to have everything together, because they did, it was the finale. And they told us, dress up, make costume. I mean, I wasn't the only one. I was the only one who did drag, but you had people using other people's uniform items to come out. I think there was a whole Lion King ceremony with a group. I think that actually got number 1. It was incredible.
Oh, wow.
I technically got second place, but that was in 2017. The only reason why I brought drag was because I did it in 2016. Now, 2016 I did win, but I got a corset when we hit Korea, and I did all this stuff from port and stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna make something out of this because it's in like 3 days. So during port, and I went out on nights, but during the day I was stoning, and then finally when we got to go back on our way, I had everything. Which, so everyone knows, that is during my Liberty time. I'm allowed Liberty at port. And I bought all basically CVS makeup and stuff. So I knew it was coming up again the following year, which is why I brought drag. And and if anyone asks me, I didn't actually do it for the other people. I did it for myself. Like performing on, I remember my chief came up to me, and I love my, she retired as senior chief, which anyone Navy-wise, that's an E8. Not Navy-wise, is E8. She came up to me, one of my mentors still reaches out to me, and she was scared for me. She said, be careful. If I can convince you, please don't do this. And she was just scared because of the stigmas, the way people think. I mean, on all fairness, in the military, we come from different backgrounds, and that includes backgrounds of people never being exposed to queer culture or drag queens. And that's fair, because I wasn't. I come from a small town. I wasn't affected by it until my dad got the Logo channel on direct TV. That's the only reason why I knew what a drag queen was, because RuPaul showed up.
Right.
That's really it. And then I researched, and then when I got my life together, I found other queer people in the area that I lived in, the rural areas of PA, and ever since then, and the rest is history. But she was scared. And I looked at her and I said, you know what? Don't be scared for me, because all my life I've been scared. And after that, the rest literally was history. I did my performance, and she turned around and she looked at me and said the same thing. I think every single person in my life who's never seen drag, and says, I did not know that's what drag was. And she was so inspired out of everything that was there. The confidence, the inspiration of authenticity, the beauty, the entertainment portion of it too. She looked at me and she said, wow, you're an incredible person. And she is not the only one. Every single person. I had one of my sailors who I worked with currently. He just retired, Love Ray. Worked with him for almost 4 years. And he never went to a drag show until this past fall. When he went, he was in tears because he said, you've been asking me to come to this and I never did, and this just changed my life. I feel happy, I feel excited, I feel like I can go conquer the world. You give me that wit, that confidence, and that beauty where I can go be myself. And I said, that's literally what drag is. Go, live it. That's what we bring. That's the art form. So people have never seen drag before in live and in a well-produced show, I'll say that. Do it. Before you make any judgments, go to a perfectly, beautifully produced show. Come to one of mine if you're in the area.
Yeah, I was about to say you're in the Virginia Beach area, though, right?
757. Yeah, come to one of mine and see what drag is all about. It's so beautiful. It really is, and you'll see the joy that I come out. Now I'm witty. I mean, as much as being a drag queen and a sailor, I can read you down, and I can read you down very well. I can be just as salty as those chiefs too. So, and I can say that my dad was a senior chief, so I know where it comes from exactly that.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was telling a friend that before I was going to come on here, I was going to surprise you and get in drag myself. And
yeah, I would have lived. Come on. I mean, if Robin Williams can do it, so can you.
Well, I didn't want to fuck it up, because I also know that drag queens can be judgmental. I didn't want to have you know what I mean? I didn't want to fuck up some foundation or some shit, you know what I mean? So
no. I have leisure. If you've been doing drag new, let's say 5 years or less, leisure. If you're 5 years and more, I kind of have expectations, but I think overall drag, at the end, that's the beautiful part about drag. It's art, and it's whatever you want to make it. So if you want to come out looking busted, I'm going to say you look on point. So it's all good.
Well, I mean, a lot of it too is like, you were talking about the inspiration portion of it. The inspiration portion of it too. You wanted to give a shout out to a friend of yours that I just want to go ahead and highlight while we're talking. So go ahead and then let you tell me who you're talking about.
So after everything that has happened, and I think this is a great segue into the things we do as sailors, because as sailors, drag is something I enjoy, but I'm more than a drag queen. I'm also an advocate to the LGBTQ+ community. I've done a lot of volunteer work, but people love to do CrossFit. sports, pageantry, and saying that there is a sailor that someone showed me a year ago, about almost maybe over a year ago, and I'm gonna mess up the last name, so I apologize if she ever sees this because she is incredible. Lieutenant Kelley is Broshi or S Broshi. I'm sorry if I destroyed that name. I apologize. But she has beautiful inspirations about like what she does, especially embracing femininity in the military. Because I'm sorry to tell people, like there's still a form of toxic masculinity that is still in the military. It's through the culture. I mean, the military literally was all men for the longest time, so it's going to take longer to find a common ground where we can now see everyone equally, including femininity, women, and myself and such. So, and I don't mean that in any form of bad way. I just mean it's the growth and diversity we have. But she brings such inspiration to feminine people. She was running for I know it's one of the USA pageant systems, so I'm not going to go into details because I don't want to get it wrong.
Of course.
But the fact that she literally went to go do that, had permission, she even like let you know that she is a sailor, is an officer, able to do what she enjoys. And I love what she says on, it was one of her most recent that she pinned, and I loved it, that you can do both. And I'm going to read just a quick piece of this because I read this forever ago. And I think this correlates right now to everything that I'm doing in drag as a service member. But she says, do both. It's not just about embracing femininity, but individuality, shattering the stereotypes society places on you. One of the biggest myths I've ever heard: if you are in the military, you can't have an outside passions. You can do both, but you have to do it strategically, delicately, very thorough when you do. Serving in the military does not mean you need to sacrifice your identity, personality, plus all of your passions. When she wrote this, one, as a queer person, resonated with me so much on just being queer, because we haven't seen queer people, LGBT people, honestly be open and proud of themselves. And I won't even go to Don't Ask, Don't Tell. I'm going to go to probably around 2015. That's when people really started, because we had to, even though we can come out, there's still that fear, there's still that living in it. But it's probably, and I didn't join until 2016. So even when I joined in 2016, most people that were queer or gay or LGBT, anything of the LGBT, actually I'll just say LGB, because trans people weren't even allowed to be in the service openly until 2021. And it was January when they officially put it out saying all trans members are able to serve. It quoted, estimatedly quoted, that all people who fit the criteria are allowed to serve their country. That's including trans people, non-binary people like myself, queer people, and so forth and so on. And we get the gist. But I think it's beautiful for what she does, because she, as you saw the photos come up, she posts her photos in her life, what she loves to do, her passion towards the pageantry system, because drag has pageantry systems too. As I said before, was a crown queen for a time till I gave the title up. And there's so much diversity. So when I see her live her life, my life is not necessarily any different when you're comparing two sailors who just want to live their lives. Except my only thing is, as we stated before, I got heat from people while she's living her life. Now, that could be maybe lack of education, lack of understanding, wherever it is. So I'm hoping in this moment right now, with everything going on, with everything that's been said about me, what I'm hoping for is this opens dialogue and conversations with LGBTQ plus members. I hope it opens that up to understand more. So that way, because for me, my life is normal. However, unfortunately, people don't see it as normal. And I'm hoping that opens that dialogue so we can find a common ground for where we can show people this is a normal life. We are normal. We're just like everybody else.
Right. And that a lot of the arguments that I'm seeing from all the bobbleheads, like I was telling you earlier, the bobbleheads in fucking politics talking what they say, they're trying to put together the military / what's going on in society with the drag shows. And everything that I've seen on your social media accounts, everything that I've seen on your socials have been professional. They've not only been professional, but they've been in adult settings. Like, you're not doing this at a fucking kindergarten. You're doing this at a bar. You're doing this at a show. You're doing it at a venue. And so I didn't understand why. Look, first off, he's an active serving sailor, and he can't do what you're accusing him of what he's doing. Second, the Navy wouldn't condone it. The Navy would say, hey, look, you got to keep it this way, because you know how it is influencing stuff. They have left and right limits that they got to give you. And it tripped me out. I'm like, it's like people are, man, it's like a fucking narrative that really pisses me off that people try to put together that's not there. You are not doing this full time while you're on duty. And I don't know what is it about these individuals that, like I said, in your professional life, and I know we didn't want to go into too much detail, have been assisted by you in some of the places that I'm not trying to say anything about what I'm wearing on my shirt right now, but I'm just saying you are where you work. It's a badass gig to have as a yeoman. Did I get that right? It's a yeoman?
You just call me admin, but yes, I'm a yeoman.
Yeah, it's like I was telling somebody about that. I didn't understand what the multi ranked numbered HM whatever. It's barely. I have senior chiefs and master chiefs for friends, and I once it's below petty officer, I don't even.
All good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
So the connection to me is what pisses me off. I'll come out and say it. Look, you don't know what Josh does, then you should shut the fuck up. If you don't know what Josh is doing on his on or off time, would be no different than, I don't know, like me. On my off time when I was in, I freaking like playing Xbox, or I did podcasts that nobody knew who I was, or something like that. That was my off time, right? This is your off time. I don't understand why they're coming after you specific. Well, I'll say that again. I know why they're coming after you specifically. Is because they have their fucking agendas. So, and the best part about, I shouldn't say the best part about this, because there's no best part about anybody attacking you, is the thing that you've been able to produce receipts. Like, there's a lot of individuals that have come after you and have posted some shit about you that, and some of them are in the service, and I mean, I hope you've given these to your chain of command and say, hey, look, I'm getting all this shit. Because most people like to talk and say, oh, I'm being threatened, or I'm being this. I've seen the receipts. You are getting threatened. You are getting, no pun intended, you are getting dragged for being dragged. How does that, I mean.
So what I'll say is, personally for me, I've received hell of a lot more love. Can I say hell in here?
Hell, you can say what the fuck you can say fuck and add. You can say what the fuck. Yeah, sorry.
I think this is like nighttime television.
It is. This is veteran podcasting after dark.
But I've received hell of a lot more positive feedback from service members. I just want to clarify that. I mean, the McPons office called me. The chief of information who brought on the Navy digital ambassadors reached out to me. Officers of all ranks, chief, almost the entire chief's mess I know have reached out, like just people within, of course, the yeoman rating. But there's so much love and so much support. I want people to know that, because people reach out like, I hope, like you said, I hope you're doing this, and this. When I promise every single one of you, and I'm not even making this up, I've had phone call after phone call after phone call. How's your mental health? Are you doing okay? I'm sorry this is happening to you. You have our support. I could call right now, list of all the way up to stars.
Good.
Meaning admirals. If I needed assistance right this very minute, for the amount of love and like I'm sure they could hear my smile through the phone when they talk to me, because I was flabbergasted. I was like, wait, you really support me? It's no joke. They feel terrible, but also I've received countless of compliments, and even the last interview I did with News Nation. Now this I'm a little bit more relaxed. I feel comfortable with you. News Nation, I was trying to prove a point, and I still am.
Right.
Which I thought was incredible. I wasn't feeding in anything, and I never will, because I still mean that to this day. When like, if like every other hate you're talking, when they ask me that had to hurt, no, it doesn't. I really stuck by what I said. My job, and you know this, and anybody who is a vet or anything, we took that oath. Anybody who wears his uniform, we took that oath for our freedom. That includes my freedom of expression too, because I won't. They just quoted when they said that the SEAL who said like I fought for this that they brought up.
Oh yeah, Robert O'Neill, the guy who says he shot Bin Laden 15 times. Yeah, that guy.
That's who it was. So I don't specifically follow him, and hey, kudos to him and everything in his accomplishments. Nothing to do with it, but he took an oath for everyone's freedom. That's including freedom of expression, and that's what I meant by what I said during that time. And that's the same thing I mean by myself. If he doesn't agree with what I'm doing, that's fine. That's okay. I'm okay with that. I really am. I'm okay with it. As long as you're not going to slander me and belittle me and just hate or discriminate against towards me, that's fine. But you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with me during drag. And I'm okay with that because I literally put on the shoe. Again, I come from a long line of military people. I know what honor is. I come from a Japanese household. I know it's so Mulan of me to say that. And I am going to say that way to get across on a small-minded people of way in a joking manner. But on all seriousness, I come from a household that literally my father drilled into me that when you go outside that door, you're going to be the best person you can be and let no one see anything else but that. So honor to me and the name I carry as Kelley for my last name is what I strive for on a regular. I'm the hardest person on myself than anybody else in my entire life. So that's fine. If you don't agree with me, I can live with that, but I will still go to sleep happy, comfortable. I will sleep real good because you know what? Your opinion and anyone's opinion, good or bad, is not, I won't sit here and dwell on it because I promise you, I probably already said it to myself.
Yeah.
I'm probably harder on myself, but you know what? I don't want to dwell on the hate. As people I've been dwelling on the hate since I came out at 14, like at this point, I have thicker skin than a lot of people who are just now discovering themselves. And that doesn't even mean being gay. That just means in general.
Oh my God. Tell me. Yeah, that to me, I was like, someone was like, well, I've even had, just like how you had individuals ask you about, do you want to go out or are you sure you want to do this? I have people ask me, are you sure you want to do this? I'm like, fucking A. I mean, first off, Joshua, you're a shipmate. If you guys don't know what general quarters happens when a ship gets hit, and you have the ass of how Joshua's going to grab your hand when he's trying to pull you through the fucking door, or the hatch, I should say, when a boat's going down, I don't think there's anybody in the Army that would have the sack to do what sailors do on a ship. That's, I mean, general quarters battle stations, when a boat gets hit and you have to lock off a compartment to save the ship, you're potentially locking in some of your shipmates that are struggling to get out or struggling to get to you. And when the door opens and you see Joshua Kelley, are you going to fucking remember anything that what he did in his off time? No, you're going to be like, thank God, bro. I appreciate it. Hey, man, big hugs. I appreciate it. Which I'm sure you probably been in your service, have been in scenarios where something like that probably happened. You probably had something, and like I said, your chain of command and your organization supports you. I mean, the organization you work for is a professional organization that I'm glad supports you in this. That would be the same way. That would see you no different than any operator out there. You know what I mean?
I want to bring up quick too, just to circle back. I mean, I agree with you completely. You're absolutely. I want to bring up first with your statement about the way people think that you're thinking, because when they see me in drag queen, they'd expect like, oh my God, yes, slay queen.
Right, exactly.
Don't get me wrong. I can be like that, and I am like that. But I'm looked at with people I'm comfortable, and I'm like with like my friends, my peers, my other drag queen, like. But I'm also, like I have a multitude of adaptable personality. My personality adapts to wherever I'm at. Like if I'm at work, I'm Y2 Kelley. I'm here for work. Right now, I'm actually probably the most chill. This is honestly Josh on a regular. Like I'm not a party person. I'm actually more laid back. Like this couch is my friend. And then I have my drag scene and everything else and so forth. So a quick note on everything you're saying. I understand that I brought two worlds together, and they really are like bam and bam, like the military and drag queen life, like just smashed together. So I understand the controversy with it, but hopefully when people start understanding like that, hey, I know, because it's media, everything's been on social media. I'm an entertainer. I know what I'm putting out. I know why I'm doing it, and I know what I'm doing. And everything's always been reviewed. But I do want to, now with that being said, I want to circle back because you mentioned haters and everything else going on. And I want to pinpoint stigmas and stereotypes. This is all going to loop together.
Go for it.
Because even though I'm understanding, and as I said before, you can hate me, that doesn't mean I'm going to allow people to walk all over me. And what I mean by that is recently, and this more goes towards a group of people, because I've had people like post my videos up that have a lot more of, I don't want to say conservative, but more of a stronger, like, no understanding of queer culture. I'll put it that way. And that's where a lot of my hate generates from. And I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah, it's almost like they're making a caricature out of you, and that's what pisses me off.
Yes, and then you have the people in the middle who's like, well, if I just share this video of everything that's going on, even though I know I'm going to draw an attention of all the people that hate you, it's still okay, but it's not. And the reason why I bring this up, I want to share this. So this is from Angry Cops. I never followed them before, but they had the audacity, and I say it like this, and I'm going to read what they sent me because I think it's important across the board, because I think maybe they don't understand their ignorance behind it. So I want to clear the air because they are not the only ones. But I'm bringing them up because I'm going to say it, the audacity to reach out to me. But I sat and thought about it. I'm like, you know what? Maybe they actually don't understand what they're doing to me, and why it's not okay, and why I don't allow people to walk all over me. So they set me up saying, I don't know if you know Angry Cops, they go by work too. They said, hey, Sailor, I made a video poking fun at your situation and Navy DoD recruitment overall. Okay, so the fact that you're already saying you're making fun of it, making fun of what though? A sailor just enjoying their life, a queer person, great. Queer people have been behind a butt of every joke in the Navy. I mean, come on. So great. Thank you for the originality. I hope you get a laugh at it. I definitely will not, because my life isn't a joke. For me, like, drag's not a joke. Like, me being queer is not a joke. Like, that's the point I try to get across to people. You're taking the attention, good and bad, pretty well. Well, of course. It's not the first time in the spotlight. I can handle this. That's why I was picked for the position that I'm in. And just so you know, the Navy Digital Ambassador Program is a military program. It was a pilot program.
Correct.
Just like I was a SAPR, I am a SAPR VA, a sexual assault prevention victim and response advocate. I sponsor an in-doc coordinator. I mean, the list goes on. Those are all military programs. What I do on the side, outside of my. And then your response to Graham Allen was the original caught my attention. So that's what he sent to me. And just clarification on your show, that response that I made was before Fox News, Media Mail, or Media News, any of that went out. I don't even know who he was, to be honest. I still didn't know who he was until everything came out. My response to him was because I thought it was another hater, because for people, they're acting like this is new for the hate from me. It's not. I received this kind of hate online. I think from Only American News, there was a blonde woman, I can't think of her name. She posted the same video back in August, slandering me the same way they are now. And I thought that's what it was again when it showed up at Tuesday night. Then I found out, no, Fox News took it over and it just turned into this whole thing. And I'm like, oh, that's not the same, my bad. So on clarification, check the dates. Like, that was posted Tuesday night and everything came out on Fox on Wednesday. Which honestly, and that's just for clarification dates. But anyway, back to this. So again, I do not sit down and let someone like that or anybody tell me. So as much as I'm understanding, I did respond with, my situation isn't funny, nor is my life a joke. Queer people are the targets to so much hate on a regular, yet you're here feeding into it like sheep. You say I'm handling it well, but you don't see beyond the screen. You're not the one being torn down and having to face it all and put on a perfect face and be brave for others, just to simply exist in this world. I'm done being tolerable to people's ignorance. And I wanted to say that because I think it's important to everybody watching, queer, LGBTQ plus females. Well, I hate when people say just ignore the hate. Don't ignore it, because when you ignore it, it turns into this. It turns into what's happening right now. Don't be tolerable to it. Stand up. Don't be a bystander. And every service member who's out there, and it's, for me, I've seen this, and it's beautiful, and the people have reached out, and I'll be happy to share this message here soon. Don't be tolerable. To Angry Cops, maybe you thought you were going to enlighten me by making fun of it. Haha, cool, great. But in this situation, honestly, I just want to say, read the room. There's so much stereotypes and stigmas behind queer people. Like, the one thing I always will use, people think I'm like Jack from Will and Grace before they get to know me. Why? Because I'm a drag queen, I'm feminine, and I'm flamboyant and fun. That's what you get online. But when you meet me in person, you're like, oh, you have multiple sides of you. Well, of course, I'm a human being. I'm adaptable. I have humanity. I have different personalities. That's why I didn't like being demonized so far through media right now. But you know what? I can take it, and I have taken it. But I will say to other people, don't let people walk all over you. And when you speak thoroughly, speak with heart, and speak with passion. And to people who don't agree with bullying, don't agree with harassment. I mean, even from an Army person to a Navy person, I know you wouldn't reach out to me and you say, yeah, the Navy's gay, whatever, and start talking trash and harassing me and say, well, that's what vets do. No, if I knew you, yeah, we'd have a ball of a time, because I love a good laugh.
Yeah, well, me and you talked before we went on air, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot we got a show to do. Oh shit.
But I want people to know, like, just because we're vets, just because we're active members, just because we're military, that doesn't make it okay to actually harass and discriminate and be in hate speech towards anybody else. And I say that highly for the LGBTQ plus members, because there is that joke and stigma of like, the Navy's gay. And I say it like that because that's how I feel like it's said to me. And it's like, I am gay, I'm queer, what's the joke, And what I'm doing right now is not a joke. That's the point I'm trying to get across. Right. My life's not a joke. And if you don't understand it, then ask about it. Ask questions to understand. Because the gentleman that I'm on with right now, you Ice, like, you are probably one of the most warmest, confident people in your skin. And I know you would have my 6 no matter what. Ugh. And I think that just comes with experience. And I'm so grateful for that, because people could learn from you, learn from me, and learn from people around them. And that's this is humanity. This is, even if you don't agree with me, not saying you do or don't, but even if you didn't, the fact that you're comfortable to even just have an open discussion with me about anything without feeling like I'm attacking you or vice versa, I respect that more than anything else. And I think that's so important, and a key portion for anybody to know, that you can have those open dialogues, but to tear me down, to tear anybody else down, that's just at that point, like, you're now just demonizing me because I'm a drag queen. And how about you get to know a drag queen before you make any judgment? That's all.
Shit, mate, I appreciate the compliment. I'd share a drink with you right now if I was there personally. We'd shoot the shit. We could probably talk all night, but you got to go to work and stuff. But anyways, but what I'm saying is that I appreciate that. And to me, it's like, my goal as a broadcaster / half sort of kind of journalist / whatever, it's to get to know the story of the individual on the human side before you start casting, like I said, them looking at look like a and that's the thing that really set me off, is like, once I got into to know your background professionally, to me, I was like, you guys need to shut the fuck up. This is he's not a character. He's not a cartoon character. He's not. And yes, vets break balls all the time. Like, Air Force will always say that everybody else other than the Air Force is dumb. Everybody else, that those jokes have been years in the making. But I find it kind of interesting that it was like hey, I appreciate you fucking taking the jokes that, I hope you're doing good. See ya. I was just like, I what? It's almost like I said about the campaign trail. If you're running for office and you have somebody debating you and they're calling you all these names, and then you decide to pick them as a running mate, what the hell's up with that? You know what I mean? It's like, I would have your 6. I do have your 6. That's the whole thing, is that I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if I lose 1,000 followers right now. I don't care if I lose 500,000 followers right now, just by talking to you. This is your story, ain't mine. This is your story. Well, thank you. The Navy, I will say again, I would like to thank again to the MCPON, the Master Chief Petty Officer for the Navy, the CNO, the Chief of Naval Operations, and the CHINFO, the Chief of Naval Information. It's almost like the big senior PAO, Public Affairs. And I just want to shout out to them, because their understanding in all this and allowing you and I to talk. This program that Joshua was talking about was not just one instance. There was going to be an event where it was going to be a Department of Defense wide initiative for all services to do this.
And may I must say this also too, because my biggest issue, everything that's happening is not because it's just with the Navy. It's really because people just have a different feeling towards the LGBTQ plus community, and that's from my eyes. That's from what I see. Why? Hear me out. So in total, there were 5 Navy digital ambassadors who did the pilot from November to March, right?
Yep.
From what I know, and they can correct the record, they were all straight. I believe they all had a spouse or something of the sort, the opposite sex, and I was the LGBT member. And I put it that way is because my demographics were the LGBT. That's what I'm an advocate.
Mhm.
Each one of them, one had a how to be a best mom, DEI work. One was a female in the CrossFit and that how to overcome that masculine world of fitting. One was a whole hard charge diversity leader for shipmates in the Navy. And then you had your other one who really brought in a diverse essence to in the enlisted world as a leader as a first class. So with that being said, they all showed their own lives. They also all shown their hobbies, what they enjoy and do during that time. And just so everyone knows, they have higher followings on Instagram that so one of them are in the 100,000.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. Like there's other military members out there that have so many more followings than me. So if you want to follow me, please do. Don't mind promoting.
Go for it.
I would appreciate it because I'm not gonna stop what I'm doing. I'm still gonna continue being me. I'm just not a Navy digital ambassador doing it. I'm still me though. I'm allowed to do it. But anyway, with that being said, nobody said anything about these 4, and I know their names were dropped. But why was the drag queen picked? Is it a hot topic right now? What's going on and everywhere? Is it because people don't understand it or are uncomfortable about it? What are the reasons? So with that being said, me being the only one in my life and the choices I made for myself to enjoy drag and enjoy what I do and be happy, nobody has an issue with, again, the LT that I brought up, her doing her own pageants, living her life. No one happens to have the other NDAs who are a working mom going to school full time, loves to go running. No one has anything about the other officer who loves to do CrossFit 24/7, eats, sleeps, breathes the gym, I swear on my life. And the list can go on and on and on. I've met people who produce music, who rap, who sing, who love to just work on cars. Everybody has something they enjoy to do. But why was the drag queen the topic? Why was I the one being picked? So with that being said is why I say about the LGBTQ plus community. But however, silver lining on everything, because I'm a positive person, I look for the best. Because of this, no matter if it was hate or not, thank you for getting it out there, because I was the first time for me for seeing the first openly queer person publicized in a way, in such an extreme way, that it got even the LGBTQ plus community to reach out. I've had sailors reach out and ask about recruiting now. I've even had, here, I'll even read some of this too. This was most of these are vets. You'll know which ones are active. I'm beyond proud to know you are serving. I was in the closet my entire enlistment. I lost friends to discharges for being gay, and a few who decided death would be better after being outed. You are a beacon, a beacon, and blaze the trail. Show them who we are. You are amazing, and you make me proud to be out and proud as a queer sailor. Thank you for what you do, and you are an inspiration to many. Godspeed. I just retired over 30 years of naval service. When I joined, we didn't dare say gay, cross-dress, be openly trans, or even bi. We lived in fear to be authentic, and all we wanted to do was just serve and be ourselves. We struggled and hid, only coming out to our true friends. Our trust circles was small. We have had strides, but there is still hate, and love will conquer. I still struggle now after being out to be my authentic self, even though I hung up the uniform. Maybe one day, but one day at a time. And it can go on and on and on. But with that being said, 30 some years, people who unfortunately passed away and fell to unaliving themselves as the only way out. Like, this is 30 years. that they were in before I was born. I am 29. So you know what I mean? So like these are people who served long times who are now seeing the change that they paved the path to.
Right.
They paved the path for me to have a miracle to be even open, which is why I'm so grateful. And if anything I'm doing is just tributing the people who said the same things that I just read. And that's why I love the LGBTQ plus community, because they see what I'm doing, and not just me, other people too. And it's so incredible to have this moment because we have not had it yet. Now, did it have to be me? No. But the fact that it is me, I'm going to do what anyone else did, and I'm going to run with it and continue paving the path, not just for me, but for so many others who don't either want to speak up or don't have a voice, and also for the next generation. Because it was only 2011, September 20th, Don't Ask, Don't Tell was abolished. It was only January 25th of 2021, trans members were allowed to openly serve. Like, are we getting, and it was only 2015 when we were allowed a gay marriage across the board. I mean, we're only in a blimp of where the LGBTQ plus community is. Like, are people forgetting that, or are they just uncomfortable with that it's finally being seen? That's the questions they need to ask themselves. That's not for me.
I think Joshua, it is uncomfortable. I think for them, you know what I mean? I think it's what it is. It's like some of the things. It's like I don't like getting preachy on religion or like getting preachy on anybody's whatever. To me, I've always said there's a reason why there's doors on bedrooms in churches or places of worship. It's because it's none of your fucking business. If someone wants to be a certain way, it's or preach or worship a certain way, it's none of your business. And if that's you and that's how you conduct your life, and it's you know what. It always pisses me off when I hear the guys going, I don't care what you are. If you as long, I don't care if you have 4 legs or 4 eyes and you bleed purple. If you want to serve your country, and that's good enough for me. So then why the fuck are you giving hate? Why is there drama?
I've actually had that before when I was a drag queen and before I joined the service. I actually had somebody, I was 19 years old. I was in drag at a gas station. I had someone, how about you join the service and do something for our country instead of dressing up as that? I'm sure you can put in the F slur for me. and I said, and I was like, okay, well, I did say my dad served, blah, blah, blah. I come from it. Well, here I am now serving. And why are we now picking and choosing who we accept who are serving our country? Because so just statistically, so people know, the Navy has openly 9% of people are identify under the LGBTQ plus community, and for Marines it was 4.5. That was sent out from SecDef's memo last year. Hopefully we'll see updates this year. And mental health itself, like I love to bring into mental health too, because it's statistically proven. I don't know the statistics exact, because I haven't looked at them before I came on, but LGBTQ plus members have a higher statistic of suicide rate because of the amount of hate we have to deal with and endure. I can tell you, if anybody, even a non-LGBT member, had to go through what I had to go through in this last week, I can probably tell you, I don't know if they would be here right now.
Yeah, they would sulk back into in obscurity. They would just like disappear.
Yes. However, for me, I've been dealing with this since I was like, I don't know, it came out at 14, so easy day.
Yeah.
But, it really brings into mind to that whole roundness of everything I'm saying is be kinder to people, especially when you don't know them. That goes across the board. If, as you mentioned, religion, I have my own beliefs and I respect yours and everyone else. I'm going to say 2 things here. One, respect people for who they are and their beliefs. And the second thing I'll do is, because people go back to say, don't throw being LGBT down my throat. That's fine, I'm not, because you can keep scrolling.
Exactly.
You have that choice. You have that option.
Exactly.
I do this for myself. I don't go out on the streets telling people I'm gay. Instead, I tell them to buy a ticket to come to my drag show.
Man, speaking of which, matter of fact, I want to pull up your I had this up. I was like, you are the works at 757, and this is, and we'll, like you said, we'll post a plug. I mean, we'll post a plug if you guys. Now this is in 757. This is in Virginia, right? This is in okay, the club. That's what I'm saying. The club is what I'm saying.
Which club? Are you talking about where my show is?
Yeah, where your show's at. I mean, we want to find.
No, it's at a restaurant. It's at a restaurant.
Okay, gotcha.
I'll be honest right now. Just because where everything's at, I will not be posting anything of it. Just for my safety and everyone's, because
of course
we the hate. I've received death threats, harassment, and just like I've been on edge a little bit this last week behind the scenes. However, it's been handled with and with grace and delicacy, and has been filed. So I am being taken care of. So I'm fine. But overall, I appreciate the plug. If you really are interested, hit me up.
Right. Okay. All right.
Yeah, if you are interested, hit me up. I'll happy to give you. As of right now, we're just waiting till things die out just a little bit longer for a week. And that's just not for me. That's for the safety of the people that host the show, that venue the show, and the queens, because I don't want to put anybody in harm's way. I mean, that would go against exactly what I do is for a living.
Right.
So, and it's unfortunately has to be that way. It is, but it's just who I am and what I do. So thank you for that. But we'll wait.
All right, cool. I'll hold up. All right. Hey, Josh. Joshua, once again, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you so much for giving us that insight. You're, like I said, you're a shipmate. You're serving in our Navy. You are a shipmate. So, we're gonna go ahead and take a break. You got anything you want to say before we take off?
Honestly, to anyone, and I'm gonna just quote my famous quote that just, haters are gonna hate only when we're winning. And what I mean by that, on my final note, is that no matter who in your life doesn't like you, if someone hates you, it just simply proves that you're doing something right. Thank you.
You could not have said it better. And I'm gonna post that pic right there of your off your social medias right there. Again, thank you again so much for coming on here. This right here, and again, I'm touched. I normally get people that say that I'm this phobic or not phobic, and I'm like, I just want to know, I just want to understand, and asking those questions and having this dialogue, like you said, as professionals, is what it's all about. That's why we're here. So again, thank you again so much. Stick around after this because we're gonna go on break, and then I'll. All right, guys. So I will. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot the shit with Joshua in a minute. So while we get to the breaks and stuff like that, y'all talks amongst yourselves, and then make sure you guys throw. Again, I'm gonna toss some glitter at you if you're not fucking careful, because I almost did it. I literally almost did it. I just about, dude. It would have been freaking. I would have been laughed at, but you know what? I will support the cause. Like I said, I nothing wrong with that. But again, I didn't want to appear like I was making fun of you. So. Even though you did that Doubtfire dig, it must have been the nose, I guess. So, all right, we're gonna go take a break. Thanks again for Josh, and we'll be back in a minute. So stand by. Shots.
Take a look inside your life. Is it so bad? Is this where you draw the line? 'Cause it's so sad. Tell me where you lost your faith. Is it so bad? Couldn't see it in your face. And it's so sad. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come down. back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down. Hello, hello to you. Will you come back down to me? Hello, hello to you. Will you come back down? Hello, hello to you. Won't you come back down to me? Hello, hello to you. Wished you could crawl out to the edge, hang there by your thread, and I feel so high I can't shake it off. 7 years, and I feel so high I can't shake it off. Can't feel my face when I'm talking to you. Beneath the skin, screaming, let me in. Don't know who you are, haunted by your scars, and I feel so high I can't shake it off. 7 years, and I feel so high I can't shake it off. Can't feel my face when I'm talking to you. I found a new trap, but I don't feel so hip in these shoes that I'm shaking in. I think that I wanna fly, but I got way too high. One more step and I'm taking it. If I waste away, don't keep me down, 'cause I'm already 6 feet underground. If I waste away, don't keep me down, 'cause I'm already 6 feet
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Back. Oh man, that was awesome. That was a good chat. Thanks again so much, Joshua, for hanging out with us, coming into the WTF Nation and shooting the shit, and also 1,000 salutations and thank you so much to the Chief of Information for the U.S. Navy, also the MCPON, or the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, and the Chief of Naval Operations for allowing Joshua to come on and shoot the shit with us. And yeah, exactly. That was some stage music, wasn't it? Oh my god, it was almost like maybe I should send Joshua that track. Oh right, welcome to the stage right now is says Miss Doubtfire. At any rate, thank you again to the Navy head shed for bringing that up. Man, we could have talked all night. We were yapping away. We still had to close it up, but again, I appreciate Joshua for hanging out and some of the comments and support in the chats too as well. Jacob, I saw you in there too. A shout out to you. Again, I would just say that knowing Joshua's a professional background, I'm just fucking glad that, you know what, let the haters hate, because he's probably doing more hardcore shit than you. Drag is just his hobby. That's just something he likes to express himself with, and that's it. I'll like I said, he's a shitmate to me, and I have a 6, and I will never have any issues backing him up. But it's pretty interesting and enlightening to hear all the stuff that he had to say. Lordy, it was man, it was a good chat. I actually, like I said, I enjoyed myself. It was fun. You guys, again, I cannot thank you guys in the comments enough. For you know, being professional and being respectful. I love that shit. That's what it's all about. So again, do we got anything going on? We got some stuff going on. Let me put up the calendar here. And man, have you seen what Dianne Feinstein? Yeah. Oh, Yeah, don't even get me started. That's probably going to be a good Monday edition talk. If Cause, I don't know if Friday Night Freedom is on its off week or is it going to happen again? Whew, man. So this is Sergeant's Time. You guys heard, you guys seen Joshua Kelley, yeoman with the U.S. Navy. That was Sergeant's Time tomorrow. I think we'll find out if there's going to be. I think there might be an off show. I don't know. Cause is starting a new schedule, but don't worry. We have guests getting lined up on the whiteboard the next couple weeks, and we also have on Pop Culture Warrior on Tuesday. We have Vanessa Marshall joining us, and on the 23rd of May, we're going to have Joe Montana. That Joe Montana is going to be joining us, or joining CQ. I don't know. He's going to be joining us because CQ's part of us. He's going to be joining us as well. Keep an eye on the calendar and keep an eye on the posts and the promos because the guests are starting to come like fly out. And this is awesome. Seeing all the chats. Joe Montana. That's Joe Montana. I almost said it Joe Montana like the way it was like the same. Anyways, but yeah. So we're looking forward to that. There's some other stuff in here that we were going to be highlighting on the calendar, but the calendar's not freaking. US WTFN needs to have a drag week. We had a guest that invited us to do RuPaul's Drag Race as a veteran version of it, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I don't do no dancing and shit because I'm old and broken and decrepit. I might have to get some like spandex or something like that. I don't know if I could fit in a corset. Because that shit's too restrictive, and besides I'm old, so I might have to go to the bathroom a bunch of times. But at any rate, yeah, U.S. Army WTF Navy. There is U.S. WTF moments for the Navy though. There is U.S. Navy WTF moments. Did you see the video of the Huey? Yeah, I did see the video. Matter of fact, shit, let me look it up right quick. Did you see the video of the Huey? Yeah, I did. Hang on, let me. I think I got the vid right here already. Let me. Let's look at that vid. It was kind of fitting because, when we saw We Were Soldiers, they had, there you go. There you go. Hang on. Let me, I just want to make sure I pull the right video up. And then here we go. Yeah. All right. So here's the video of the renaming of a Fort Moore, which I think is pretty cool. That was pretty badass. Hang on, yep, that's all the video. I'm gonna highlight it here. So shout out to Fort Moore. Let me go ahead and change the perspective here. There you go, Fort Moore. Check this out. This is pretty badass. Look at this shit. This is we'll just watch.
4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome again to Fort Moore, Georgia, home of the Maneuver Center of Excellence. 4, 3 of the
That's
Maneuver
badass.
Center of Excellence.
Come get some, man. You say people were born at the wrong time, man. Shit. That was pretty cool. At any rate, make sure you share, like, and follow. We are on 5 different platforms live, 2 Facebook pages at U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio. We're on Twitter, and then we're on YouTube at WTF Nation Radio and Twitch. We're on Twitch too, so if you want to if you're in the gaming stuff right now, currently Grunt's Gaming Network has been upping their game on their broadcasts, on their streams, which I think is pretty cool. With that, let me see. I'm gonna make sure I'm missing something else. Do we have any big dates? I'm looking on the calendar of some of the stuff we got going on, and I don't see any major calendar events happening yet. I'm just trying to see. No, I'm not seeing yet. I hear the choppers coming. Yeah. So no, I'm not seeing anything big on the calendar. But again, you never know. You might see a promo for a celebrity, a military influencer, a senior member of the military, and or maybe, just somebody that you would like. Oh wow. I didn't know that person was in that movie. So, matter of fact, let me pull up the graphics again so we can see. I can show y'all the shows here, and that way I can highlight myself. There you go. Get to the shower. Exactly. Just so you can get to the shower. No, it's because these are Green Berets I know from Fort Liberty. Fort Liberty. There I am. Here I am in Sergeant's Time. Tomorrow, I'm not sure. I think this is the off week. I have to double check. Friday Night Freedom. Saturday's a day off. Sunday is the sports bar with the coach and the actual King Smith. Monday edition is myself, where I, drag politicians and no pun intended. I know the theme has been dragged tonight, but I shit talk politicians. And then Tuesday's Pop Culture Warrior with all the pop culture news with Michael Carrasquillo, the pop culture warrior with his roving band of co-host. No, yeah, hosting. Yeah, guess not a guest, but he's a guest host. Anyways, and then Wednesday with the Smoke Pit, all the Smoke Pit news and squad leader level stuff. Squad level leader sergeanting with TZ and a radar, and then here on Sergeant's Time. With that, again, I just want to give another shout out. I can't thank Joshua enough, and I can't thank the U.S. Navy enough for allowing him to come on and speak. This has truly been a joint effort. So thanks again, the MCPON, the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, and the CNO, the Chief of Naval Operations, again, for allowing Joshua to shoot the shit with us. So then, again, y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all next week on the Monday edition, and shouts. See ya.
Hey, this is SEAC retired John Wayne Troxel. You're listening to WTF Nation Radio, the station of choice for all of the badass MFers on the planet.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Sometimes when I look at, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, I think it's WTF Army or something.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
We're Sunday, and we're
There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun. It's been the ruin of many a poor boy, and God, I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans. My father was a gambling man way down in New Orleans. Now the only thing a gambler needs is a suitcase and a trunk. And the only time he feels satisfied is when he's on a drunk. mothers, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your lives in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. I've got one foot on the platform and the other foot on the train. I'm going right back on down to New Orleans to wear that ball and chain. There is a house in New Orleans they call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy, and God, I know I'm one. My God, I know I'm one.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.